The wealthy heiress was forced to fulfill her mother's dying wish, marrying into a remote rural village. She thought her life was doomed to poverty, but little did she know, her so-called farmer husband was actually the richest man in Haichang. Her mother-in-law personally came to pick her up, which gave her some relief until she saw the broken electric car behind her mother-in-law. Her heart sank instantly. Left with no choice, she gritted her teeth and hopped on, enduring a bumpy ride all the way home. As soon as she stepped into the yard, chickens and ducks scattered in all directions, nearly making her scream. She hurried inside to escape, only to be met with an even bigger shock: bare walls, old furniture, and a house that looked as if it hadn't been renovated in decades. Sensing her discomfort, her mother-in-law awkwardly smiled, and admitted that their family was struggling financially. If she couldn't handle the hardship, she could still leave, but where would she go? Her family had never truly loved her. With nowhere else to turn, she clenched her jaw and chose to stay. Her mother-in-law beamed with joy, and reassured her that she wouldn't have to lift a finger. Just then, her husband returned from the fields, and the woman froze. She had expected a rough, sunburned farmer, but instead, he was unbelievably handsome, looking more like a celebrity than a laborer. Flustered, she barely had time to react before he handed her a red cloth pouch. Assuming it was some kind of rural specialty, she reluctantly accepted it, but the moment she felt its weight, she nearly dropped it. A solid 100-gram gold bracelet. Still in shock, she watched as her husband pulled out an entire collection of gold bangles, signaling for her to pick one. Her mother-in-law scolded him for being clueless about women's preferences, then casually pulled out a 10-carat pink diamond. Apologizing for their humble circumstances, she promised to make it up to her. The woman was completely stunned. Just how much land did this family own? That question was soon answered. When she visited the fields, she finally understood: hundreds of acres of farmland, thriving livestock businesses, and a booming tourism industry. This wasn't just some rural family, they were the undisputed land barons of the region. As she stood there, still reeling, her husband casually handed her a bank card, calling it her pocket money. Curious, she checked the balance and her legs nearly gave out. Over $1 billion. Seeing her speechless, her mother-in-law assumed it wasn't enough, and immediately told her son to transfer all their family assets into her name. Meanwhile, her younger sister, who had married into a prestigious family, was suffering. Her mother-in-law handed her a scalding cup of tea, and demanded she serve it as a sign of respect. When she hesitated, the older woman simply waited, watching as her hands turned red from the heat. Furious, the sister threw the cup to the ground, believing she would dominate her new household. But she had no idea the Gu family was drowning in debt. The only reason they had married her was for her dowry. The moment their financial problems were solved, she would be discarded. The next day, her mother-in-law announced they would return to the family's ancestral village for a memorial service, expecting a luxurious private cemetery. She was horrified when they arrived at a rundown rural town. Disgusted, she was about to complain when she spotted two farmers working in the fields. Taking out 200 yuan, she waved them over, assuming they were laborers who could help carry her luggage. But as they approached, her smug expression disappeared. It was her sister, and the real shock: her sister refused to acknowledge her. She had no idea her sister was never supposed to be here. She had only married into this family to take her place in the arranged marriage.